I'd be looking at shorting some of this speculative Bitcoin Treasury business stuff over the next maybe 6 months. My cost of debt, recently I was given over 9% to borrow some money to go and buy a piece of physical real estate. Whereas Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, the last time I saw the figure, he was able to raise debt at under 1% and fix it for a period of time. I can't retell the exact details, but the point is, as a publicly listed company, as an entity, has tools at its disposal that aren't necessarily available to the retail market, to the average punter like myself, trying to figure out, like, how do you store your wealth, how do you grow your wealth, and if you were going to take risk, what might that look like? So this is really cool. But what blew my mind in a little brief bit of research I was doing in order to make this podcast is like how complex this already is. And MicroStrategy itself, MSTR, the stock ticker is on NASDAQ, right? 506,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheet as of March 2025. Now, the first thing that will kind of trip people up here is that most companies are valued based on their operations. And so they're looking every year at, like, what revenues this company made, what were the costs, what were then the taxes, okay, what's the EBITDA of this business? But what Bitcoin Treasury companies are doing is actually, they're essentially monetizing the balance sheet. And with the new accounting rules that are coming in, the gain in balance sheet value is going to count as revenue. So I saw another stat recently is that if in a week or so's time, the quarterly earnings of MicroStrategy are calculated, if Bitcoin's over 118,000 US dollars a coin, then MicroStrategy will report the most profitable quarter in the history of companies. Like, no, they'll outperform Apple, everything. And it's an absolute masterstroke. And what I like about Saylor in particular is it's like he's got this like 35 years worth of skills, expertise, and kind of nous. And he could have retired, right? He could have gone, fuck it, I'm done. I'm going to go and chill out and do whatever. But actually, this is what caught my attention when he bought Bitcoin back in 2020. He was thinking through a lens of, how do I know the person managing my company 100 years from now has the best possible chance of survival? And that's how I was trying to think about managing my inheritance. I was like, oh, well, I know that I've got to get it to the next generation, and I want to do that in the optimal way. How do I do that? So when I heard him say that, I was like, holy shit, this is mega. Let's figure out what the hell's going on here. And so now, as I kind of flick through this research, like, well, MSTR, it's so much more than that now. So that's the NASDAQ listed entity, but they've released one called MSTY, which is what they're calling like the yield max. So you can actually buy this. You can buy this in favor of getting yield. So in the last cycle, you might have heard like a Celsius or a BlockFi, FTX. You just deposit your digital assets with us, and we'll give you a yield. And it's like, if you're getting that, like, where's the yield coming from? Whereas in this case, you've got a stock listed business, fully regulated, that's able to play with the financial engineering expertise on the back end and the suite of different public market financial tools to generate yield. And now you can just own the stock and earn a yield with it. It's quite incredible. And on top of that, they've got then different preferred stocks, STRD, STRF, STRK. I'm not going to go into the details of all of these now. You can even own MSTU, which is a leveraged ETF. And they also have convertible bonds, right? Companies like Allianz, the big insurer, I know that they were a massive bidder on one of the convertible bond rounds that they did. And it's like, okay, these are serious institutional players that are now getting Bitcoin exposure in a way that it just simply wasn't possible 4 to 5 years ago. And to me, this is like extraordinarily bullish. So just to summarize, like, MicroStrategy's already like pioneered the playbook for a corporate treasury strategy with Bitcoin. But now us as retail investors, we've got all these different like kind of slipstreams of Saylor that we can go and kind of pick up. And it's like, okay, well, what kind of risk are you looking to take? What size of your portfolio are you looking to take that risk with? And do you want some kind of dividend, or are you looking for capital growth? Like, what are you actually out there to try and do? And for that, it's pretty epic, right? So that's where I wanted to start, was really just like busting through MicroStrategy. Now, do I own any? No. Would I like to? Yes. When is it time to try and buy? In my view, and I'm trying to stick to the strategy I created from a couple years back, is I'm looking at a sell window for Bitcoin itself in the next like 2 to 3 months. Like August of 2025 was always when I was, roughly speaking, looking to see a new all-time high. Now, as of right now, I would be highly unsurprised by like a 160, 170,000 US dollar Bitcoin price in the very near future. You'll see some outrageous predictions, and they may happen. I wouldn't be against that, of course. But trimming your position in the months to come may not be a bad idea. And I'm actually looking about 12 to 18 months from now, when there's going to be one hell of a bear market, to go, okay, what are some more speculative bets I can make to run up this next bull? Now, I'm not someone who's sophisticated enough to short stocks, but I'd be looking at shorting some of this speculative Bitcoin Treasury business stuff over the next maybe 6 months.